In all the kerfuffle, I failed to realize that Nintendo has yet to give us an MSRP, a manufacturer's suggested retail price for Amiibo going forward, or at least the latest announced Amiibo. We've got a little set of Zelda ones and a set of Street Fighter ones. Now, Amiibo pricing has always been a little bit weird. From the very beginning, these things already felt a little too expensive. When they hit the scene here in the US, it was like 13 each, you know? 13 was pretty much like the going price for all of them. There weren't a lot of variation in sizes and qualities and whatnot. And even at that time, I was like, all right, they don't. You could kind of justify it slightly more by arguing that there was some use for them in games, or at least theoretically could be. There's this maybe someday they'll make an Amiibo adventure game where you get the characters by having the Amiibo, and in that case, I'll be sure happy I have the Amiibo. So there's this idea that they have a little extra functionality. So it was okay, I'll spend $13 on this little, they're really just not that good. I think Amiibo are nice. I think they look really nice, but it is a very small, relatively cheap plastic figure. But whatever. And then they, I believe it was when they gave us the Breath of the Wild champions. They were a little bit bigger and a little bit nicer, and those were 16. And that was all right, that's a lot. I mean, I know it's only a few dollars more, but 16, you're getting dangerously close to 20 for these little things that are still not that great. But then whatever. And then regular Amiibo started, even teensy tiny ones. I remember seeing the Link to the Past, or no, the Link's Awakening one in the store. Really just a little tiny little Link. And it was 16. And I'm all right, this is getting silly. But now we have an idea of how these new Amiibo may be priced. And nothing is official yet. Obviously, situation is super weird right now. Nintendo and retailers are all kind of figuring out how to price things. If you don't know if prices are gonna have to go up later, or are you kind of preempting that by making them expensive now, I really don't know how it all works in the relationship between Nintendo and the retailers, and what product has already been shipped and has already dodged the potential tariffs, and I don't know. It's all a mess. And Nintendo, they probably have been talking with retailers. Retailers probably know more than we do about what the MSRP is probably going to end up being. But right now, basically, retailers, they want to give us pre-orders for these Amiibo. And so they have been listing prices, even though we haven't gotten official word from Nintendo of what the MSRPs are going to be for these things. It seems that GameStop and Walmart had already given prices, and since posting those prices, they have increased all of the prices pretty much across the board by $10. $10 more. And GameStop did this first, and now it seems that Walmart has followed suit. And this really could just be a guessing game on the part of the retailers, or this could absolutely reflect what the actual MSRPs are going to be. And when I heard that the prices were getting a little bit silly for Amiibo, I think even considering the situation, even considering that things are getting more expensive, I still found myself shocked. Are you sitting down? If you haven't heard about all this, are you sit down? The Zelda Amiibo started at 20, which is okay, well, if 16 was the average price before, then yeah, okay, bringing it up by $4 more to 20. I mean, it's a lot to pay for, again, a little Amiibo, because these aren't even extra big, and not, I mean, I guess I won't know until I see them in person, but I'm looking at them they're small. Some of them are really small, the Tulin one. It's really nothing special. So 20 is already a lot. But yeah, guess what? Now they're all $30 each for these Amiibo. So more than double the price of Amiibo when they first hit the scene, however many 10 whatever years ago now. And yeah, so that's bad enough. 30. $30 for these Amiibo. Guess what? Street Fighter ones are $40. They started at $30, and now GameStop and Walmart have tacked another $10 on there. $40 for Amiibo. Now, to be fair, maybe these ones are going to be a little nicer. I can't tell just from the images, you know. Maybe when you see it in the store, you get it in your hands, you go, oh no, that's, you know, there have been Amiibo. They're just like a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer. Okay, sure. But like, no. But like, no. That is to me, that is an unfathomable price to pay for these little things. Because again, they're not that good. You know, like when you're paying, like when you're talking 40, now you're like, I might as well just get like an actual figure, like an official merchandise, you know. Sure, like the really big, super nice statues can run like hundreds or whatever, but like, no, I don't like, you're just out of Amiibo territory. Amiibo were like this cute little thing, and you buy them to collect them, and you put them on your shelf. That's not collect them all prices there. You know, that's, no. Because they don't do anything. Amiibo, as a concept, has been, I don't know, you couldn't say officially abandoned by Nintendo, because, like, they're still, like, little tiny things they do in there. Oh, you get items in Zelda or whatever. But, like, for the most part, it's not a thing. They never ended up doing anything interesting with it. And now it looks like they're not gonna. Even going into next gen, they have not communicated anything special about how Amiibo are gonna be used on Switch 2. So really, if anything, there is less of a reason to have like actual Amiibo functionality now than ever. There has never been less value in Amiibo as Amiibo instead of just little figurines. So like you can't even pretend like it has that potential value. You know, it really is just a little figure. A little, tiny little molded plastic Tulin. Teeny tiny little bird boy. For $30. And, so yeah. As with everything, everything's up in the air. We don't know if it's official or whatever. But, like, I will just say right now that I'm gonna buy the games. You know I'm just enabling Nintendo. I'm a part of the problem, but like I'm gonna buy the games. I don't like spending that much. I'm gonna pay $70 for most of them and $80 for the occasional game. I still think it's not gonna be every game. Like DK Bonanza looks like a plenty big game, and that's still $70. I think $80 is gonna be reserved for like the really biggest games. Maybe we won't even get an $80 game every year. I don't know, who cares? Point is, I will grumble about it, but I will do it. You know, I'll pay too much for a Pro controller once, hopefully once. And I'll pay for these games and the system and all these things that I'm gonna get a lot of value out of. I'm gonna just spend a lot of hours of my life playing and enjoying the artistry behind it. You know, that's the thing about a game. They're made by so many people, and it's a work of art in so many different fields, all crammed together. So I'm so much more comfortable paying money for that kind of thing. But like the little plastic things that sit on my shelf, and I get like the 10 seconds of pleasure, the 10 seconds of like monkey dopamine by like opening it up and looking at it and putting it on the shelf and being like, all right, that was fun. Now it's just kind of sitting there. Yeah, if these are really the new prices, if the minimum now for Amiibo is $30, more than double what they used to be, I am officially done purchasing Amiibo. Officially. Now, I will admit, my resolve may be tested when they reveal an Amiibo that I care a lot about, you know? What if down the line, some Metroid, I mean, it's got really just Metroid and Pikmin. I think those are the only two series that I like, even Zelda, I'm kind of like, now. Metroid and Pikmin, those are the Amiibo. Those get me. And I will admit, it may be something of a test. Maybe I will break when I finally see one that I think is really great and I can't live without it. But I never cared enough. You know, I like the Amiibo. I like the ones I have. I really love the Metroid and Pikmin ones in particular. But I don't know. I think there's a really good chance that even if I do love an Amiibo, even if it's cool, even if it's Samus. My dear Sammy, I just don't think I can do it anymore. It's not enough product. It's not enough value. It's not enough quality. It's just not even almost worth it anymore. I was too cheap to buy Amiibo before, so that's why they made great gifts. You know, people would give me Amiibo, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm too cheap to buy it for myself, but like, you got it for me, that's great. Now I love it, and I have it at $30, $40. Don't even get it for me as a gift. I don't want it. Like, that's just a disgusting waste of money. Yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think the entire Amiibo situation is weird. I really have been meaning to like do a video kind of readdressing the whole concept of Amiibo and kind of like wondering what Nintendo is doing with it. And if anything, this is just making the whole thing even weirder. Let's do less with Amiibo. Let's make them less valuable and make them exorbitantly expensive. And yeah, I don't know. And again, yeah, sure, as always, other things may be exorbitantly, everything may be exorbitantly expensive, so blah, blah, blah. But if everything is that much more expensive, then that will be even more reason to be very, very choosy. You know, that's gonna give me even more reason to just buy a lot less stuff. I have to be very discerning about what I spend my money on. And these cute little plastic figures that sit on my shelf and collect dust, they're just not important enough. $40. 40 stinking dollars. You are kidding me.